What is anime to you? I know, that's a big question that you might want to take a while to really reflect on. So I'll give you a little bit of time and I'll go first. So, anime to me was an escape, a break, a timeout on life, whatever you want to call it. Now, this may seem strange to someone who has never looked at anime from this perspective, but I think everyone can understand the concept of just getting away for a bit. Everyone has their own means of doing that. But anime, for me, was a way for me to just forget whatever was happening in real life and just throw myself into a different world for a few hours and just get invested into this story and its characters. I remember staying up late at night when I was like 14 to watch that one show where those dudes would power up for 30 minutes while their hair turned yellow. And then I'd watch another show where a kid would turn into a literal scythe. It was awesome. And once I discovered these strange shows I watched at midnight that I loved so much was something called anime, well, I guess you could say the interest snowballed after that. But I think almost every kid who enjoyed cartoons a lot growing up eventually stumbles into anime, and then you start the roller coaster ride of going from stuff like Pokemon to Dragon Ball Z to Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Code Geass, Evangelion, Elfen Lied, High School DxD, Monster Musume.
Like that! Stop it! You're staring at me like I'm some sort of pitiful creature or something!
And then somewhere down the line, after you continue to watch more and more anime and get lost in this world and the culture of it all, you start to realize these stories aren't just always lighthearted and fun. They could be thought-provoking. Chilling.
Everything that you thought had meaning, every hope, dream, or moment of happiness, none of it matters as you lie bleeding out on the battlefield. None of it changes what a speeding rock does to a body. We all die. But does that mean our lives are meaningless? Does that mean that there was no point in our being born? Would you say that of our slain comrades? What about their lives? Were they meaningless? They were not! Their memory serves as an example to us all! The courageous fallen, the anguished fallen, their lives have meaning because we, the living, refuse to forget them! And as we ride to certain death, we trust our successors to do the same for us! Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world! My soldiers push forward! My soldiers scream out! My soldiers live!
Even truly heartbreaking.
Oi, Nina!
タカさん？
なんだ、いるじゃないか。
やあ。できたよ。完成品だ。人語を理解するキメラだ。
Another thing that hooks me to this day about anime is the diversity of it. Like, sure, there are great live-action shows out there, but the imagination and style these authors and artists were able to implement was just insane. It was something I'd simply never experienced before.
Explosion.
And speaking more on the overall reach of anime, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a show almost everyone loves, actually took a little bit of inspiration from anime. And even though we try to forget and ignore these the best we can, shows like Dragon Ball Evolution, Ghost in the Shell, and Death Note are other huge movies that obviously originated from their extremely popular and influential anime counterparts. I mean, these stories are so recognizably popular and likable that these huge studios were sitting there and they were like, hey, the US loves anime and we need to be the ones that start making money for it. So, let's put Scarlett Johansson in a movie. But hey, it just once again goes to show how extremely difficult it is to recreate the uniqueness of the Japanese anime style and animation. I mean, come on, there's literally something for every mood. There's a shonen and seinen if I want an action-packed series with powers and gore, to the slice of life if I just want to relax and watch some people go to school. And hell, there's even romance if I'm feeling romantical.
You hang up that computer call, come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical.
But seriously, anime really was everything to me at one point in my life. There was just something about it that hooked me from the very beginning, and I was lost. And if you're the type to only watch anime, I definitely recommend you checking out some manga as well. It could just add another layer of depth to your love for what these artists and writers are able to do. It really is worth your while to check that out. But, you know, now that I've gotten a bit older, I definitely don't watch nearly as much anime or read as much manga as I used to. Which, you know, believe me, watching and finishing up to 50 anime a year probably wasn't the healthiest. But regardless, you know, it's okay that I'm not watching as much anime. There was a time when it truly was something that I felt I needed in my life. It was almost like I couldn't wait to be done with the day so I could just go home and relax and binge anime all night. But now, you know, it's turned into something I enjoy occasionally, which is just what I needed to be at this point. And you know, it also gave birth to other interests in my life. I mean, my interest in anime made me start reading manga, and then manga eventually turned into reading fantasy novels. And not to stick on that for too long, but if some of you have never been big fans of reading like I used to be, I highly recommend you checking out a series called Cradle and Getting Back to Me. It's basically progressive fantasy, which is where a main character trains and powers up, so to speak. Definitely check that out if you love anime and would maybe like to get into reading a bit more. In the end, anime will always have a special place in my heart, as weird as that sounds. Regardless if I just watch an episode every now and then, or if I decide to binge a whole series in a week, it'll always be there. I think that about summarizes my feelings on the subject anime. So I'll ask again, what is anime to you?